Hello, this is John Hart, and I'll be going over the template for your selected article. It can be used for 3 different assignments. The first one is in Module 2, and it's called Milestone 1. And you can look at the rubric there. We'll click on that. And it has a bunch of prompts like purpose of the study, research methods, how they collected their data, key findings, and so forth. And I have all that streamlined into a template, and I will provide this to you, all the prompts, and slightly different wording perhaps in some of them. So title of the study, you just type that in underneath, start a new paragraph, indent, and take the bold away. Well, it can be short answers is fine, and I'll show you an example in a moment of how I applied it to one of my published papers. And the published paper is this. And we can X out of here to make the paper a little bigger. And come down here on the right, lower right, and click on that plus sign, make it a little bigger. And here is my sample template filled out. And some directions will be in the template, the blank one I send you. So the title of my study is this, and I have them numbered here in my example, but you don't have to have them numbered if you don't want to. So it'll be without numbers, but either way. So I have them numbered here to correspond with numbers in the paper. So red numbers, here's number 1, goes with title of the study, and that's here. Heart rate variability is here. And number 2, purpose of the study. We'll go back to the paper and we'll search around for that. So here we see in the introduction, under the main heading of introduction, usually is found the purpose, and I have it specified here so you can read, and I have the sentence there. So best to put it in your own words. And 4 is about the hypothesis. In this study I provide the null in alternative hypothesis, but many papers don't comment on the hypothesis. So hypothesis is an assumption. For example, the assumption is a healthy diet is important for good health. Is a general hypothesis, an assumption, and you can glean that from almost from the title of a paper. So you can come up with that on your own if it's not stated. You can give it a good guess, and that's fine. So under purpose of the study, there's also in the rubric, it's underneath purpose, but I have them separately numbered. Research question. In my paper, it's not explicitly stated. But again, you can glean this often just from the title. So, research question, what effect is there on heart rate variability following spinal adjustment, something like that. So you've got some leeway here to come up with things on your own. Research question number 3. Since it's not in the paper, we won't find that particular number in this particular paper example. 4, hypothesis. Okay, we just covered that. Study design. Again, often not explicitly said in a research paper, but we can tell that it's not experimental because there's no mention of randomization in the methods section. In particular, how the patients were recruited, and that is numbers 5 and 6. Method of data collection. 16 consecutive patients, so recruited, not the biggest study in the world, but that's found here. 6 and 13, when we get to that, will also be in this area. So you can just go through this and get an idea. One common mistake is conflating data collection with data analysis. So 2 different things. Data analysis, an example of that, simple example, calculating averages or means. Mean is another word, of course, for average. And a t-test is an inferential test to check the probability of a difference, check the probability that it happened by chance. And a p-value is what's produced, and a p-value below 0.05 is considered statistically significant, which we will abbreviate in this course as stat sig. So any p-value less than 0.05, the conventional level called alpha level, or level of statistical significance, is considered stat sig, meaning the difference probably did not happen by chance. So you can read through my comments here. Short comments, it doesn't have to be lengthy, but you're welcome to add content as you see fit. But just be sure you address the specific prompt with a specific answer. And methods of data analysis, for example, the answers are under methods section, and in this example it's number 10. So here's 6, here's 10, talks about the t-test. So we do not have to equivocate. We can say what is definitely used. What would be an example of the wrong way to do this? It would be, as far as equivocation, would say it appears that a t-test is used. Well, no, t-test was used. It doesn't appear that way. So I want you to be confident in your answers in regard to statistical tests, but you can use wiggle words, as they're called, back here when something is not explicitly stated, and that's what you would lead with. Research question, not explicitly stated, is what you can type. You're welcome to use this. And then you would say, in my opinion, the research question is, and that's fine. So equivocation is fine in something like this when it's not stated in the paper. Same with hypothesis, often not stated, so you can give your opinion there, but in other more concrete areas like study design, there's no need to equivocate. And here, data collection, the answers are almost always in the paper. And you're asked in one of these prompts, how did your study compare to a similar study referenced in the paper? And the one I picked here is by Zhang and others. I just highlighted this part of the title and then went to PubMed, typed it in, and here it is. And the PubMed provides the abstract. And in this study, HRV changed as a result of chiropractic care. Well, it is, so this is rather too brief of a conclusion, in my opinion. It should say whether the change was good or bad. In HRV, a higher number is better than a lower number. And we can read about the HRV improving. So you'd look for that. Improving by a larger number. And that concludes going over this. You can use the template for all three assignments. Milestone 1 goes to here, type of data. And milestone 2 is a couple weeks later. And that starts with method of analysis. So just keep this work handy and make changes as you see fit in the final submission, final project, and corrections, changes based on my feedback to you. So you want to pay attention to that, otherwise you get dinged again for the same error. And thank you for watching.